I often wonder how you never saw the subtle changes, the way I slowly started to distance myself. The signs were there, but you were too caught up in the illusion of love to see that I had already let go. It's strange, isn't it? How love can fade without a single confrontation, just quiet shifts in how we look at each other. I wasn't who you thought I was, but you never wanted to face that reality. You ignored all the quiet moments where my affection wasn't as fierce, where my words didn't carry the weight they once did. I tried to let you down gently, but you kept pushing me to keep pretending. In your heart, you believed we were still connected, but deep down, I knew the distance was growing. You ignored the way my touch became more mechanical, my words more distant. It wasn't your fault, but it was undeniable. Sometimes love is not a big dramatic moment, but a slow fade. The signs were subtle, a hesitation in my voice, a lack of excitement in my touch, and yet you held on as though nothing had changed. There were so many times when I wanted to tell you how I felt, but the words never seemed right. The truth is, I just couldn't love you the same way anymore, but I let you believe it because I didn't want to hurt you. You were blinded by the idea of love, and I was trying to show you the truth. But it was easier to pretend everything was fine than to confront the fact that I had outgrown what we had. I tried to love you the way you wanted me to, but my heart simply couldn't match the intensity you needed. I didn't want to be the one to break your heart, so I stayed silent instead. The hardest part is watching someone you care about ignore the fact that your feelings have changed. I wanted you to see the signs, but you were too caught up in the idea of love to notice the truth. I didn't mean to hurt you, but it felt like I had to slowly pull away. It wasn't a sudden decision, but a gradual understanding that my love for you was no longer what it once was. There were moments when I could see you trying to hold on to something that wasn't there anymore. You ignored the truth that was right in front of you, that I simply didn't love you the same way. I couldn't keep pretending that I was still in love with you. You deserved the truth, but I didn't have the courage to say it. So instead, I let the silence speak for me, hoping you'd understand the change. It wasn't a dramatic ending, just a quiet realization that I had stopped loving you the way I once did. I wanted to tell you, but somehow I didn't want to break your heart. You never saw it coming, but I had already begun to drift away. I wanted to love you, I really did, but my feelings had already changed, and I couldn't pretend anymore. The signs were there, but I hid them behind excuses and explanations. You never saw the cracks in my heart, the moments where I felt distant because I had already started to let go. I didn't need to say it out loud. My actions were telling you everything, but you were too wrapped up in the dream of our love to notice the subtle ways I had already let you slip away. I wanted to be the person you thought I was, but somewhere along the way, I became someone else. And though I tried to keep up the act, you should have seen the truth in my eyes. You held on to the version of me that was gone, and I let you. But I wasn't the same person anymore, and deep down, I think you knew that, even if you refused to admit it. I tried to find a way to make it work, but I couldn't. You ignored all the signs I was giving, and now here we are, with nothing left but the remnants of something that once felt real. There were moments when I wanted to walk away, but I stayed, hoping that my love for you would come back. But it never did, and deep down you knew it, even if you didn't want to admit it. You were always holding onto the idea of us while I was slipping away. I didn't know how to make you see the truth, so I let time do it for me. I didn't love you the same way, and I couldn't keep pretending I did. You ignored the quiet signs, hoping that if you held on tight enough, everything would go back to how it once was. The love I had for you wasn't enough to keep me where I didn't belong. You saw the changes in me, but you chose to ignore them, and now we're both here, lost in the silence of what was once familiar. I tried to hold on for you, but I couldn't hold on to something that no longer felt real. I wanted to love you the same, but somewhere along the way, I stopped. I stayed too long thinking I could rekindle what had faded. But the truth is, I was already gone in my heart, even though I hadn't walked away yet. There were times when I could feel you pulling away, and yet I couldn't bring myself to tell you the truth, that I didn't love you the same anymore.